Global community, what's the deal? What's the deal? Today we got another compilation of non-biased, non-mainstream TikToks, media, and news that they not trying to show you. We're going to get rid of that indoctrination the system been trying to give us our whole life and get straight to the facts. One person will never know everything, but as a collective, we can figure it all out. That being said, drop them globes in the chat. Let's get to it.
Cash Global TV subscribe.
Where did they do funny secret handshakes again? Watch it again. Is it a big club that we're all not in? Quickly, you would have never seen this if you were watching TV. You would have never noticed that in time. You slow it down and you see a handshake I've never done. If I shake hands, it's a firm grip. I don't put my finger on that part of their wrist. Like, what's going on? And in totally unrelated news, here's a handshake if you're in a secret club that you literally have to vow secrecy if you want to join. But I'm sure it's nothing.
People just trying to watch a movie, and 70 others were in the theaters. Go out.
I do not think it was a good idea to go to Eddie's house, and I don't know why I followed Vinny to go there.
So you saw the video of the person that got kicked out of the movie theaters for wearing green face paint to the Wicked premiere. Well, here's the absolutely horrific story of why that rule is in place. On July 20th, 2012, 24-year-old James Egan Holmes went to the midnight screening of Dark Knight Rises in Aurora, Colorado. After about 30 minutes into the movie, he would leave the theaters, go out to his car, dress up in tactical gear, and bring tear gas and a rifle into the theater and begin shooting. This resulted in the death of 12 innocent people just trying to watch a movie, and 70 others were injured. Holmes took medication pills prior to this so that in case he got shot, it, quote, would not hurt him. He was arrested shortly after. However, he knew that the police would raid his home, and he rigged the entire house with explosives. Thankfully, those explosives were defused. In court, he attempted to plead insanity, however, that did not work. He was charged with 24 counts of first-degree murder and received 12 consecutive life sentences without parole. He also received an additional 3,318 years for attempted murder and possession of explosives. This incident led to heightened security throughout theaters nationwide. His youngest victim was 6-year-old Veronica Moser Sullivan, and she would have been 18 years old today.
Are to go around for the fast food industry.
Oh, please don't do this.
How many cows?
The math doesn't add up. Okay? Just the fast food industry, just McDonald's alone, produces 6.5 million burgers per day.
Damn.
And there's enough cows to go around?
A day.
If you test the meat in Taco Bell, it's barely beef, like, at all. 70%. So we're talking 30+% of something else. Just saying.
You think they're feeding us humans?
That's what Putin said. Putin said if they knew what they were eating, they would go crazy. In which you would, because actually, if you look into human beings eating other human beings, it actually causes brain damage.
Of the 30 major fast food restaurants in America contain anywhere from 13 to 21% of human DNA. Allegedly, do your own research, entertainment purposes only, but that was the research that was done. I'm a vegetarian. That is one of the biggest conundrums of American society right now. What y'all feel about it? What we eating in this fast food burgers?
Everybody's wigging out right now because if you're eating fast food, I'll say allegedly, you might be not eating a cow. Just saying.
You guys, I just watched a post saying that people live inside the Grand Canyon and zoomed in and there was like houses. I am legitimately, I can't even believe I'm admitting this, 54 years old, never knew this. What? Who lives in the Grand Canyon? Like, I feel like I don't know shit now.
So there's an ancient tribe who has their own government, their own mail system. You have to get there by a helicopter or by riding a donkey. They have their own civilization, society, and rule their lands. They're the indigenous people to it.
Not have health care, and they should not have congressional pensions that allow them to amass wealth from taxpayers per day. If the American people ever understood the congressional pension system, they'd have pitchforks and torches and be storming the Congress right now.
I bet you the minimum wage would jump up quite a lot if they had minimum wage.
The true vampires in our world today are the same people that are vampires before, the people that want to live forever. I don't think you can do that without sucking the life out of somebody else.
That's a great way to think about it.
It's always been extreme wealth. You get as rich as you can and you keep it for yourself as much as you can, because everybody will try to take it from you. There are ways to be powerful in the world that always cost something to somebody else.
I just got done watching a video of a guy saying he gets paid to go to the mall and stand on the elevator every day. And there's levels. You can get paid to stand on the elevator. You can get paid to go in the restaurant. You can get paid to walk through the mall. He didn't disclose who was paying him to go walk in to be by the elevator and do those things. But he also said there are other actors in LA that go to the mall, that go to these stores to make it look like it's the place to be, y'all. So I had to say this. Are the people that have the accidents on these main highways in LA, Atlanta, Texas, New York, are they paid actors as well? Make it make sense, y'all. Make it make sense. And I know we got people that get paid to be in the crisis actors. Make it make sense, y'all. All of these people are getting paid.
It's supposed to be underwater starting tomorrow. So me and my Hawaii. We're gonna dig out some trenches and hopefully divert some of the flooding. Fingers crossed it's not that bad, but I'm a little nervous.
Anybody else think they're just making shit up on this dinosaur documentary? Just in passing right now, they said, oh, and one time it rained for 1,000,000 years. What the fuck are you talking about? 1,000,000 years? That's not even a real number. 1,000,000 years, and you're gonna laugh at creationists because they think that it rained for 40 days and flooded the whole earth? 1,000,000 years? Shut up, dude. What do you want, Camino? Get out of here.
No drainage, nothing.
David, I recently saw he's like trying to copy your lectures a little bit. Maybe you didn't see, but this is a good example of a Western Iranian. He comes to America, encourages this war, but then he's not going to fight in there. He's not going to enlist. He doesn't go back to Iran. Not going to fight in the war. Are these examples of Mossad paid influencers, or are they just completely brainwashed and don't know how to submit to the fact that Trump completely lied about everything he said he was going to do in his campaign?
So Patrick David, he actually got in touch on Monday. He wanted to interview me. He wanted me on his show. And what happened was that was the same day that there was a concerted online campaign against me. Like it was just weird in that, I went on Twitter and like everyone was attacking me. And like it was the same talking points. So I'm like who are these people and why is this happening all at the same time? Mm-hmm. So that interview request from Patrick David, I'm like, this must be a setup. Yeah. He wants me on a show so that he can provoke me and say something.
The darkest thing you've ever seen in the music industry?
I've seen some crazy shit, bro. Some probably demonic shit and just fucking walked away from it.
Like demonic meaning like?
Nah, just like, let's say people offered like weird shit. Like, let's say some fucking witchcraft or some dumb shit. I stay away from all that. I'm like, fuck that. Oh man,
That's real?
Yeah, bro. I think everybody in the music industry does it.
What is that? How does that work?
I don't know, bro.
The top 1% of elites don't fall asleep like you do. They program reality before they do. Every night before they fall asleep, they make sure they enter a theta state, which is the doorway between the conscious mind and the quantum field. Nikola Tesla is the perfect example of this. He would fall asleep having business meetings in his head and imagine himself working on his inventions. And as he slept, those answers would come to him. This is because your brain does not know the difference between imagination and reality. Your body begins preparing for that reality as if it's already real. So if you fall asleep replaying fear, heartbreak, death, trauma, that is the frequency that you are tuning into for the next day. But if you fall asleep embodying the version of you that already has it, the simulation has no choice but to deliver matching outcomes. You are remembering, never forget how powerful you are.
Time I envisioned the task from start to finish and played every part in my brain like it was actually going on, it actually went down pretty similar to that. Because the brain does not know the difference from practicing in your head, imagination, and doing it repetitively in real life. Crazy, right?
Menudo. This is going to gross a lot of people out. Should I say it?
Just say it.
So there's this very popular dish in Mexico called menudo pozole. And it's obviously made with pork, with pig and the intestines and all these things. I don't like it. It's disgusting. you know, they might call people might say, "Oh, you're not no real Mexican. You don't eat menudo." I guess I've never liked menudo. Actually, the original menudo was made with human parts.
No way.
Yes, human parts. And it started in, you know, in those times with the Aztecs. They would sacrifice these humans, these rituals, to their goddesses, their deities, and so that they would sacrifice these humans, and they would make these soups, the menudo, the pozole, and they would eat it, right?
Everybody knows what Stonehenge is. Once you reconstruct the original plan, it had this very special, unique geometry. It also appears to have been carefully located, not just randomly placed, but carefully located on the surface of the earth at a very precise and specific place. Recently, it was discovered that there were not just 2 types of stone being used, there was 3. The outer big ones that we kind of picture are called sarsen stone sandstone. They're stones that are high in quartz. Quartz is a mineral that can actually produce electricity when it's placed under pressure. Its inner rings are formed of a rhyolitic bluestone, which is an igneous rock. Sarsen stones, they came from about 20-25 miles away, quarried and transported. The bluestones came from around 120 miles away. They were quarried in Wales. At the center of the monument, it's probably fallen down now, but there's a stone called the altar stone, and it's on that solstitial alignment. Well, they discovered that the altar stone was a completely different, unique type of rock. How did they discover that the altar stone was a third type of rock? Well, because it had a high metallic content, particularly barium. I don't know what the implications are of that yet, but it was a distinct type of rock. That's how they were able to find its origins in northern Scotland.
See, we think they're dumb back then, and chisels and rocks and pulleys, like they're ahead of their time, literally.
Never even been on a carrier. We need to get you a trip out to one, even for a day. Right on. Aircraft carrier flight deck, one of the most dangerous places on the surface of this planet. You got jets, aircraft that are taxiing, turning, exhaust, going into afterburner, landing cables are getting pulled out. There was a video, an aircraft hooked down, hits the cable snaps, and of course it's whipping across the flight deck. And one of the chiefs is grabbing his belt and starts pulling it off as he's jumping over the cable because he knows it's probably going to impact some people's legs, and he's getting a tourniquet ready in his hand. No way. Yeah.
First people who ever did these things. Who's the first person to ever try to land a plane on that boat? Like, this is extra level, I'm not even say extraterrestrial, extra level intelligence. You don't play with things like this. Who created those bombers? Who said, I'm about to land this plane on this boat? Like, what are we talking about here? The first person ever. Think about that.
Why would you want to eat pizza? I don't know. Why get up in the morning? Why look at the sun? Why enjoy a rainbow?
Because pizza is just an open sandwich.
President Trump, we need someone deported immediately. Yes, he's calling pizza an open sandwich.
This word has always come up, and everyone has only started to question it. This clip always stuck with me. And once you notice it, you start hearing it everywhere. And here's what I find strange. It's not just the word, it's how casually it is just said and thrown around, all these interviews and all these celebrities using it.
You're like, I don't want to play your pizza games. I don't want to get caught up in your nonsense. I don't want there ever to be footage of me saying I enjoy that weird nonsense y'all partake in. Respectable.
A joke that everyone else is in on except us. When the same words and the same jokes and the same visual keep showing up, you start asking different questions. And once you hear it, you can't unhear it. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below.
A shocking and controversial statement that could potentially affect your visa.
Thought this. Look closer. Every symbol is a code. That is a Mason A. And the signs on each side of the door are real reminiscent of the black and white checkerboard, aren't they? This is clue one, stay. Here, we got this building right across from it. The chair usually someone's sitting in. All of these windows are blocked off. Not to mention we're right across the street from, also, Look at this. You can go right under. And we got the old abandoned hotel. The clock in the middle. It's a citywide spell, guys.
If you had any kind of alcohol problem, any kind of heroin problem, or any kind of problem that you want to fix, put somebody in the fucking hole for 8 days, and I guarantee when they come out and you say, whatever your problem is, if it's heroin or alcohol, if you crack open that beer, you're going to do that again. I guarantee everybody will be like, ain't worth it, ain't doing it, I'm never doing that again.
That was gnarly. It was gnarly. It was gnarly.
That was my last straw. I was just like,
Good for Bam.
I am done, man. Like, because all you're left with is you stuck in a white, dirty room with you, yourself, and I, stuck with your thoughts. On day number 4, they gave me like a pad of paper with a pencil and whatever, and maybe some Stephen King book that I barely read.
That's
but
great.
Yeah,
not even a self-help book.
But man, you're just stuck in there to think, and you don't really want to eat the food because it's on this like rubber ass tray with like straight up mystery meat, man. I took a bite of this. It tasted like liverwort. I don't even know what. And then the green beans, they felt like they were plastic. And like, if you get pasta, it's just boiled pasta, and that's what you eat. There's no sauce, there's no salt, there's no pepper, not even butter. And stale ass cornbread. So like, I barely ate in there. It was official torture.
And your wife couldn't do anything?
No. Nope. I just had to fucking power it out, and I learned a big lesson from that.
If you came out with alcohol right now, if alcohol wasn't a thing, and you like invented this drink that is gonna make you like either really happy or really aggressive or really stupid, and we're gonna just sell it to the masses, people would be like, nah mate, keep your funky juice, like we don't want that, that sounds terrible. And it's one of those things, because it is so socially acceptable, that the addiction side of it, the bad sides of it, really do fly under the radar.
That there's a place called Lyme, Connecticut?
No.
Okay. So, if you look into Plum Island off the coast of Connecticut, there is a bioweapons lab that they've tested, many diseases on animals and whatnot. And they have these ticks, these Lone Star ticks, right? And essentially, they weaponize the ticks with Lyme disease. And then that's how we got, what we know today as Lyme disease, because it started in Lyme, Connecticut. Okay? Precursor to that, during the Cold War, there was an operation that the CIA released called Operation Mongoose. You guys heard of that? Okay, so during the Cold War, the same thing was happening. They were weaponizing ticks because they wanted to get Fidel Castro in Cuba and overthrow the government. So they bioengineered these ticks with Lyme disease and then release them on the sugarcane workers to cripple Cuba. And it's a cheap way to do it, right? So they're essentially saying the way they did this is the poor man's nuke, right? So they're saying that they can affect 10,000 people for about $1.40 a day. So $1.40 gets you 10,000 people wiped out. Wow. So you can cripple their system, you can overrun their medical system without destroying their resources. That's why they call it the poor man's nuke. And this is during the Cold War, and then that was the precursor to what we know as Lyme disease today.
Prior to that, there was never Lyme disease. They made it up.
They made it up. I mean, there's a place called Lyme, Connecticut. That's where it originated from. After the Cold War, about 10 years removed, they started to release it. And if you look at these ticks, they weren't native to that area, right? So this is happening again. Did you guys know this? It's starting to happen again.
With what?
With what?
The ticks. So here's the thing. These random ticks that aren't native to Texas and Nebraska, and they're moving north, these ticks are giving people alpha-gal syndrome. Do you guys know what that is?
No.
So alpha-gal syndrome is to where, in layman's terms, you can't eat meat anymore, red meat.
Oh yeah, I heard about that.
Now, why do you think that is?
Why can't you eat red meat anymore?
Well, think about this. Bill Gates, he wants you to eat
synthetic meat.
Synthetic 3D printed meat.
We didn't listen to them. And the last viewer that we sent up there, his soul is trapped on the moon. His body is in a coma in a special medical facility run by the CIA. and his family has been given like medical compensation or whatever. They told him, like, they told his family that the guy had died in the line of duty or whatever. And he's been held in stasis for years and years as they wait for his soul to come back from the moon, where apparently there's the capacity to lure and trap somebody's consciousness, which they finally did to one of these CIA remote viewers after repeatedly telling them not to surveil whatever's going on up there.
Strange. We had a guy on here named David Morehouse.
Oh yeah,
yeah. He was a remote viewer, he was a part of these programs for a long time. I think it was in the 70s.
I read his book Psychic Warrior.
Early
on.
Yeah. And he said that he remote viewed the moon and there was nothing. He's like, it's all bullshit. There's nobody there.
I don't know whether he was being blocked or what, but I can tell you some other things about the moon that are much creepier than a city on the dark side of it.
Well, and here's another thing. If there was a city, why is it only on the dark side?
Well, because that side faces away from us all the time.
So because whoever built it doesn't want us to see it?
Of course. Of course. That's the convenient place to put it. There's also another reason that's technical, which is that if you put, we've been studying this in terms of potential lunar colonization, that if you put listening telescopes, like the Arecibo dish, stuff that's meant to convey signals across space. If you put it on the side of the moon that faces the Earth, there's too much interference with radio signals coming from the Earth. So if you want to have basically interspace communication from the moon to elsewhere, it's better to put something on the side that always faces away from us, so that you're not bombarded with radio signals that are being transmitted from the Earth.
Right.
That's a technical reason why you would do it, but mainly I think it's, for concealment purposes. Okay, but the story of what's going on the moon is a lot more. It's a lot more startling than finding a city on the dark side of it, right? Because you could be dealing with a natural satellite that has been colonized at who knows what time by whatever spacefaring civilization. No, it looks like there's a much more disturbing scenario here.
Appreciate y'all watching this as a family, Global Mafia. That being said, I am Cash. Capital K, $sign for the